What's up everybody? Thank you for coming to check out my latest video, and today I'm going to be talking all about the Big Brother callback process. So when you might expect to get a call from the producers and what you might expect on a day of callbacks, like what actually goes on so that you can best prepare yourself. The callbacks are coming pretty soon, I would imagine, within the next month I think, and actually today, February 19th, is the day where I had my callbacks for Big Brother 18, so it's kind of a very fitting day for me to upload this video. So the first thing with callbacks, and a lot of people have been asking me this, is when do we get that call? When do we hear from the producers that we made it and we can go to London or Manchester or wherever it might be? Don't get stressed out because it takes a long time often to get the call. Until the auditions actually close, like the actual closing date of the auditions, and like 3 days or 4 days after that, you can still expect to hear back from them. So if the auditions haven't closed yet, don't get too stressed out about it because they still could call you. For me, I think I auditioned and then I auditioned very late in the process, so there was like a week left to go of applications open, and maybe I heard like 4 or 5 days later. But if you applied earlier, I would say don't worry too much. In the past, I did apply earlier and I waited like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks before I heard back. So that would be the time frame I would give yourselves in terms of waiting time. Now briefly, before I get into the logistics of the actual callbacks, if you don't get a callback, don't be hard on yourself, like at all, right? You applied, you put yourself out there, and you had no regrets, and you should be proud of that. It doesn't matter if they don't call you. And here's a good story to help you feel better as well, right? In Big Brother 17, I applied. I thought I had a dope audition video. I thought it was sick. I didn't get a single callback. I was very upset by it, but I let that upset actually be part of my motivation later on. So it motivated me so much that Big Brother 18, I actually got on the season. Now let's get into callback logistics, right? So you get to callbacks on the day, you go up to the desk, and the first thing you get, and this is exciting to know, is you get a little sticker like this. Do you see this? So I actually applied with my mother. Initially for Big Brother 18, obviously I went on my own. But this is the sticker we got. I like to keep these things. But anyway, you get a sticker. But here are a few things that I want to say for like tips and stuff like that for that callback day. My very first tip for the callback day is get there in advance, right? So if you get there in advance, you have the opportunity to scope out your surroundings. You can look at what the building looks like, kind of like who's kind of walking around, because you mentally prepare yourself in that situation. So when you're actually there, you're not even nervous. So what I actually did is I looked up the place of the callbacks online. I did I did all the searches of all the rooms, what they kind of looked like and stuff like that to mentally prepare myself. And then I also got to the venue early in advance so that I could kind of see everything that was going on, and I was kind of scoping the horizon before the actual audition started. And that's actually very important and leads me into my second tip. So my second tip in the callback process is once you get in, after you get that sick sticker, you sit down in a room of people. Often it's like outside the actual audition room, so it's like in a hallway or something like that. But this is so important. The people who are sitting in that room, those are the people you're going to be having a group audition with. So in callbacks, you get a group audition and then you get solo auditions. But you won't even get a chance to have a solo audition unless you get through the group stages first. So that's the hardest, most pivotal, important part to grasp, which is why it's the focus of this video as well. What you need to do is you need to look at all the people. You need to go speak to them, get to know them, because if you get to know them, say you meet a girl and her name's Sally, and she says that she doesn't like guys with muscles and who have a lot of arrogance, right? And then when you're in the room, take that knowledge, you know that knowledge about her. They'll ask you questions. If you can use that knowledge and kind of put it into the context of the audition room questions, that can really benefit you. As a personal story, in Big Brother 16, for example, I was sat right next to Joel, who ended up being on Big Brother 16 when I went to callbacks. And I did speak to him, but I wish I'd spoken to him more to get to know more about him, because in the auditions, he was very eloquent. He actually spoke about something I had been speaking about to him when we were sat down together. And I thought that was a very effective strategy. And also, if you have a dynamic with somebody, so let's say me and Joel had really clashed in that audition room, the producers could find that interesting, and they may want to take that dynamic and move it on to the next stage because they like that they can already see conflict there. So for example, in Big Brother Australia, you had Tully and Tim, I think, season 10, and on that season they apparently were in the same group, and the producers saw that they had some conflict, so they wanted to put them in together. So that's a really kind of neat little tip to know. My third tip is make your mark, right? Make your mark, because making your mark, note this, is not being the loudest in the room. I was 100% not the loudest in my room in Big Brother 18. When I got through those group stages, I just made my mark. I was able to say points that had meaning, that made people look around me and be like, oh, like, you know, they reacted to me or they didn't know what to say to me when I said certain things. That's good. You want to evoke a response out of people, not necessarily be the loudest. In fact, actually, as a fun fact, pretty much everybody who was super loud in my room didn't make it through that group stage. So I don't think being loud is actually a bonus. So if you're worried about that, don't worry about it. Now, assuming you made it through that group stage, this, what I think is absolutely the hardest stage and where I think they identify who they think will be a housemate. If you make it through that, then you get solo auditions. I can't talk too much about this because we've signed contracts and stuff like that, so we can't really talk about the audition process so much after that. But essentially, it's a lot of waiting, a lot of solo interviews, little questions, phone calls, questionnaires to fill out. But if you want tips for that, I would look at my audition video tip again, because everything I gave as a tip in the audition video can be very much used in those solo auditions as well. But one last tip I have for the solo auditions is pay attention to the questions the producers ask you, right? So for me, I noticed they were very interested in my political background. They asked about that a lot. So when I kind of clocked onto that, I was like, oh, they kind of like that I'm politically more conservative or whatever. I'm going to talk about that more because they clearly like it. That's how they picture me, and that's what I'll give to them as well, because that's what they want out of me. This is a business pitch. You want to tell them why you would make a good contestant for their show. So if you can see kind of, oh, this is what they want from the questions they're asking, that will really benefit you. So my final tip is really, really, really pay attention to the questions they ask you, because they play a huge role, I believe, in like kind of understanding how they see you and eventually getting you cast on the show. I really hope this video helped you guys. Again, if you haven't heard back from them, you didn't get that call back, it doesn't matter. You know, like it's one TV show. I'm sure if you really want to get on it, you will get on it in the future. And now you know about the callback process, so you'll be more prepared next time. And if you are at the callback process, I hope this video gives you a massive help, a massive boost, and that you absolutely rock it. I would love to see as many super fans or people who love the show get to be on Big Brother and fulfill that dream as well. I'm going to be coming up with another video soon, which will be kind of the final one in my series of this audition video tips thing that I've been doing, and that's going to be talking about my own audition experience, and I think that'll be really interesting to people. So I'll talk about from the first time I auditioned in Big Brother 15 to the time I got on in Big Brother 18, the different steps I took, different challenges I had to overcome and stuff like that, and hopefully that can motivate people as well. On that note, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed already, subscribe to my account because I'll be posting more videos soon, and obviously you'll be seeing that video about my Big Brother experience, which I think will be really interesting, and it'll have emotions as well because it was an emotional experience for me, so I'd love to share that with you. So please subscribe, like, comment, and all the best to everybody auditioning for Big Brother 19 this year, or people applying for Big Brother Canada or Big Brother USA. Anybody out there applying for Big Brother, all the best. Much love. Peace out.